Does that mean we're live?
I think it does.
I mean, like we are live on the air?
Yes.
Bum, 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 bum,
Welcome
bum,
to
bum.
Mornings with Matt, personal and professional development training that connects the art of acting with critical life skills and self-mastery. Presented by the Deering Acting Studio.
Good morning, everybody, and welcome to Mornings with Matt. Brian, are you getting one ear too, or is it just me?
I'm getting both ears, but I could tell there was something going on. There was like some serious. You had a serious face on where you're like looking at things. You're like,
Like something smelled bad?
yeah, 100%.
Like me during class last night? Holy moly.
You smelled last night?
Dude, okay, so this is TMI, too much information here, but wowza, the day after a Father's Day birthday, 2 days off, Matt stinky.
Stinky. I think that was a group deal. I came up to, and I actually was kind of like, I know this sounds weird, but I was oddly proud of myself yesterday because I had a moment with Dakota, and I was like, his breath kind of smelled in a second, and I was like, yo, your breath smells.
Yo, you're saying this on the air right now, live?
And
Okay.
I think he'll approve. So then he was like, oh, thank you. And then he went and got the breath mint or whatever that we have in there, and he was thankful, right? But that's something normally I would just be like, and I would sit there and like not say anything about it. You know what I'm saying?
And then you disappeared during class, and then some tech would go wrong here and there.
Yeah.
And then later on, you'd be like, "Yo, but Dakota's breath smelled.
Yeah, that was.
I couldn't sit in there." And then I'd be like, "Dude, you should have just told him."
And I would have been like, I know, but I couldn't because I'm a coward.
Good morning, Joey.
Good
Sweeney.
morning.
Look
I
at
was just laughing a little bit at the fact that he chose to say that on air.
Oh yeah, I know, and I'll probably eat it later. But we'll
Here's
see.
the deal. Your breath sometimes stinks. People's breath sometimes smells.
Yeah.
And it's nice. It's a very kind thing to tell somebody. You know what's funny? My daughter is hilarious. You know how funny Rosalind is?
So funny.
Yeah.
But she's in this age where, we talk about radical truth. I mean, we do have that in our family. We've implemented radical truth. So everything that we do here, we try to implement at the house. And she's so funny. Like if I'll be like kissing her for bed or something, anyway, if I've just had food, because if you eat anything, your breath doesn't smell good. Even if the food was good, your breath doesn't smell good from the food.
Oh yeah.
So if I've had anything to eat and then I go to kiss my daughter, she'll go, "Dad, your breath is horrible."
Dude,
And the way she says horrible with like her really good diction as a 6-year-old, it's hilarious.
horrible.
I'm just like, first of all, who are you? Because your breath ain't perfect, but thank you. I'll take the note.
No, I love it. She did the same. Like she doesn't like coffee, right? I mean, just the smell of coffee or anything. So we'll have like an espresso or something, and I'll remember like she'll be like, she'll just give you one of those faces. She's like, smell like coffee. Like, ugh.
I remember she walked into a store one time with Leanne, and it's like a small shop of some kind where the people working there were probably the owners, and they walk in and just real loud. She's just like, "Why does it smell so bad in here?" We're like, radical truth, honey, in the car.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I'm sure Liam was thrilled about that.
Today's episode, you are who you are.
'Cause I am
Whatever you say I am. If I wasn't, then why would I say I am?
Can't get copyrighted.
That is
if I
that is
say
the opposite of what we're trying to say. But what's funny
Great song.
is that song is actually pointing out that is not good.
Yeah.
But you are who you are. This is a point that I bring up in the chapter on confidence in The Best Listener in the Room, and the idea here. This goes back to biblical principles, and I wrote right there in the book that as soon as I start talking about the Bible, I'm going to lose half my audience.
Yeah.
I know that. But the other half of my audience is going to scoot up in their chair and they're going to listen deeper. But my goal is not to be judgmental. It's not to try to force my beliefs upon other people, but just to say that the Bible did change my life, and there are so many business and life principles in the Bible if you learn to read it and understand it and dig deep there. Because I love motivation, I love motivational quotes, I love motivational speakers. I love this idea of personal development and continually growing, in yourself. All those principles are present in every speaker who speaks on personal development. The Bible is just in everything. So if you learn to listen for it and dig into the Bible, you can actually get so much. It's really now that I'm in it for my third year of going through the Bible.
The Bible in 1 year?
The Bible in 1 year.
A couple of the bigger motivational speakers are pastors too, probably for that reason.
Yeah, yeah, and the ones that aren't, they use biblical sayings, and they'll either hide it or they'll say something that's clearly a biblical term, but then they'll say, but what, like I do actually, but whatever your God or source or whatever, because they don't want to be offensive, but they just want you to know, like, hey, this truth is truth,
Yeah.
So anyway, going back into this "you are who you are" principle, I had this thought hit me that I like this concept for the idea of unlimited potential. Limitless potential comes from an idea of godly potential, because God is infinite. God is all-encompassing. And if we go to the Bible and we read on this subject in John 14:16-17, it says, "And I will ask the Father, and he will give you another advocate to help you." That's the Holy Spirit. "And he will give you another advocate to help you and be with you forever, the Spirit of truth. You know him, for he lives with you and will be in you." And I say this a lot, like God is in us. He's a part of us. It's not, we are not gods, but in essence, God is there. He's there if you learn to listen to him, to his voice. He lives inside of you and is ever present inside of you. So if God lives in you, I feel like it's important to define God. When asked, "Who are you?" how does God respond?
I am that I am.
I am that I am.
You're too late, Brian.
I am that I am. So if God lives inside of us, then you are who you are, and you are who you are, and I am that I am. We have that inside of us. So what does "I am that I am" mean?
Means I am what? No, I'm just kidding.
I am that I am.
Just that you are. That, like, it's not as complex as everything is being made to be, maybe?
I think it's like the idea of I am ever present. I am, like, unique. I am. You're speaking the truths of yourself.
But it's I am that I am.
I don't know. What's your thought
about I am specifically?
Well, I am that I am. I am anything. There isn't a definition. It's limitless. It is infinite. It is there is ever expanding. I am that I am is instead of I am whatever you say I am whatever I say I am. I am what I am God. I am that I am. You name it, I am that.
Yeah.
So that means full control over the universe. I am that I am. I am ever was, ever will be. I am that I am. It's that is what I believe it is limitless potential, infinite possibilities. That's what God is infinite. So if we say I am lives inside of us, I am that I am lives inside of us, then you are that you are, and I am that I am is inside of me. So limitless potential, infinite possibilities live inside each and every one of us.
Mm-hmm.
So you get to go, whoa, that's super cool
Yeah.
and crazy, scary, and intimidating.
Yeah, totally.
So for us to understand that you are who you are, my point here is right now, in this moment in time, you are who you are, and you are who you are, and I am that I am right now because of me. You are who you are because of you, and you are who you are because of you. Everything about you is because of you.
Yeah.
That is super interesting because I've probably read this verse like 100 times, the I am that I am. And I never have translated it back to us as human beings connected to God. Like that's just the way that you sort of described it there just really clicked for me into the idea of being responsible for yourself, but also your connection to God and you being you. Like that literally hadn't hit me until you just described it in that way.
That's cool.
That's awesome.
So if you connect that idea then, going back to I am that I am, we can even go to Genesis here. I also said Genesis 1:27 states, God created man in his own image, the image of God. He created him, male and female. He created them. He created us in his own image.
Mm-hmm.
He created us in his own image. Then he describes himself, I am that I am. Then you skip forward into John. It says, and I will ask the Father, and he will give you another advocate to help you and be with you forever, the Spirit of truth. You know him, for he lives with you and will be in you. The Spirit. The Spirit is a part of the Holy Trinity, which means it's all in one. Spirit is just as much God is God.
Mm-hmm.
He will be in you, and he lives in you. I mean, it's right there.
Yeah.
So then we say, okay, if you are who you are right now, because of you, Joey, don't!
What the heck?
He got so scared.
You got him though. It worked.
Wake up, Joey. 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 No, you were okay. So Joey was yawning, and here's the deal.
The yawn.
I was yawning.
I know, but you got to be so careful because it's so
contagious.
contagious. Yawns are.
It's contagious.
I
Don't even
my
fake
mouth.
yawn. Don't even fake yawn.
It's so funny when we have guests on here because when they try to hide the yawn. Have you ever seen that? Like,
Oh, Truman.
dude,
I'll
like
just
everybody,
throw that.
most people are not used to getting up this early.
His was the best. He just goes. He tried so
you
hard.
like see the
and he
face
went,
like
he went like.
Dude, Joey, I
liked it.
think actually we should start marking when people yawn. Just take a little mark.
Ooh.
And then just do a compilation of me going like,
Yawn
"Good
face.
morning, everybody." It's like, rah, rah.
That would be hilarious.
That's brilliant. Oh
Yes.
my gosh, that's
And you can
brilliant.
include you in the outtakes.
In the takes.
I
yeah.
mean, that's not fair. 'Cause there's
I mean,
like
throw me in there.
there's like 470 yawns of me on this show.
It should include me today. It doesn't. I'm wide awake, but you guys helped woke me up this morning. Actually, what's interesting, my wife woke me up, but you were ready. You were at the door, right? Practically, or you were
Yeah,
pulling into
and
the
your wife
driveway.
might have got a couple calls too. I don't know.
Well, thank you, and God bless the both of you. My phone got reset. Excuse. I didn't get up this morning, for real. And so the fact that I missed my morning on the day I'm going to talk about accountability, bummer.
Bummer.
But I bring accountability to that because I am who I am right now because of my decisions.
Mm-hmm.
And if I miss a morning, it's on me. And if I don't hit my goal at the end of the year, I got to go back to every morning I missed. And whose fault is it? It's mine. It's my
Yeah.
fault. Now, did this and that get in the way? Was I this and that? Yeah, you were. But you know what? You also just didn't power through. Hold yourself accountable, and then you understand. Because here's what's interesting. If you take accountability for who you are right now, you take accountability for you. That's the only way that you can pick up a pen and write the rest of your life. Because then you get to take accountability for what you will be.
Yeah.
So what you do today is going to determine your tomorrow. I mean, think about what I was joking about about the stench that was me yesterday. But what did I say? I said it's my fault. That's a culmination of 2 days worth of me having days off where I didn't eat right.
Mm-hmm.
So because I don't eat right, my body responds the way it should, which is like, let me get this junk out of my body.
Yeah.
And it creates a stench I don't like. Take accountability. And then it either will get better or it won't get better, but whose fault is it? It's mine.
Yeah.
You are who you are, Matt. You stink.
Yeah.
Literally, you stink.
Yeah. Brian, would you like to take accountability for all of the snacks that you've opened of mine
I have
and eaten?
opened a bunch of Joey's snacks.
And,
So
What happened? What happened? What's going on here?
Well,
I feel like we needed to have some brotherly counseling.
yeah, my
Joey's
mom,
real possessive over his snacks is the thing.
No. My
Wait,
mom,
he's possessive over his
I'm kidding.
snacks?
I'm kidding. Yes, they
Yeah.
are his snacks. They are.
Yeah, so my mom got me my favorite snacks for when I got my diploma, and I don't think
it was
we
your
talked about-
graduation gift?
Yeah,
Yeah, and
Oh,
I
wow.
snacked on some
yeah,
of it.
and,
yeah.
and all of it.
Not all of it.
Literally every single snack
Not true. Not
that
true.
she brought me
What
is
were the
now
snacks?
open.
Not true.
I had
I
hot
did not have
Cheetos.
any of the chips. Chips
That's
or
not
whatever.
true. I had
That is true.
I had a closed bag of hot Cheetos. It was open last
I
night.
did open the Cheetos.
He doesn't even like hot Cheetos. I don't
I-
understand it. I had a closed bag of goldfish, also opened last night.
Facts.
I had Nutter Butters, which are gone, and I, had like
didn't have
4.
Nutter Butters.
Yes, you did. They were sitting at
think-
your bedside. Those are the peanut butter ones.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
I had like 3 of
He
those.
ate
yeah.
like all of them.
I did not
Okay.
eat all of them.
Pretty close.
I did eat some. I did.
The
I did not eat all of them.
the only thing that's left, and that's because I hid it, are the Chips Ahoy thins.
You hid those? Where'd you hide them?
I hid them.
Don't
I'm
tell
not
us.
gonna-
Don't tell us. Don't say
I don't like
it.
them. I don't like those. It's a genius.
Apparently, it doesn't matter if you like it. At night,
Just
you're
eat
going to eat it anyway.
I'm a monster at night.
Yeah,
Monster.
and so all of my beautiful snack gifts are gone,
Okay.
and I'm
So,
really sad about it.
so why are you upset?
Well, I'm upset because they were his to take, and then he didn't tell me about it. He just like ate the things that he says he doesn't eat.
And then what happened?
And then I said, "Bro, why did you open all of my snacks?"
And what did he say?
And he said, "I did do that thing."
And then I said,
Did you say sorry?
I sure did.
Oh.
So
You said sorry?
I did say sorry. So this would be holding on to something from the past, is what this would be.
I mean, I thought it was just kind of a funny ad, but I didn't realize you said sorry. When did you say sorry?
Right after that first part.
Last night?
Yeah, they went together.
But you denied it first. You were like,
There
"No,
we
I
go.
didn't
There
do
we go.
that."
That's right. You usually deny, Brian, and then you have
I
to,
believe
and
that.
people have to work for the apology. This goes back to an episode we had. You should watch it on saying I'm sorry.
I did.
If you wait to give the apology, if you don't say sorry right away, it loses its power.
Right. Yeah.
That would make sense.
So if your response is, he says, let's say Joey makes a sort of an absolute statement where he says, you ate all my snacks
Yeah.
and you only ate 90% of them,
Sure.
and you go, no, I did not.
Right.
You did, he didn't mean it that way, but you're holding on to the one thing that makes you right,
Sure. 100%.
and then eventually you work yourself to a sorry, then you've already kind of rubbed everybody the wrong way.
Totally. Totally.
Yeah.
I do that
Versus
thing.
if you understand, like, hey, you know, here's the thing. Let's just dive into snacks for a minute.
I thought this might be a good like.
Well, there's nothing like an unopened snack
Yes.
where it's like it hasn't been touched yet.
Yes. Yes.
There's something special about that
There's
unopened
no
bag
way.
of
There's
whatever.
no way it could be stale.
Right.
The first of whatever it is always the best. Like there's something beautiful about it.
There is. So to understand that, like, yeah, I had a moment of weakness. You weren't around. I just went to town on your stuff.
Yeah.
To immediately say I'm sorry, or ideally, in an ideal world, you beat him to the punch.
Yeah.
That's how you win. And this is what I always say: bring dark to the light immediately. And this isn't like dark, but the idea, but that's the idea though, for real, is that if you make everything dark, then darkness doesn't become scary.
Well, and this goes back to something funny that I learned from you a long time ago, and it's the idea that it plays in a toll here where you say there's no little lies, there's no little bad habits either.
Yeah, or bad little thing.
Yeah, because if you do it in that way and you struggle in that way, then chances are on a bigger stage, on a bigger situation, you'll do the same thing.
100%.
Unless you learned from it,
and you might do it in a smaller way, but
Yeah.
on a bigger thing. And then when you get found out, you lose credibility always in different ways.
Sure.
Mm-hmm.
So if you the way it looks when you Brian's like way away from the mic now.
It
Right.
started hurting. I
It's a
was like,
body.
go like this.
He's like, oh, we're talking about snacks. But no, but here's how you win when it comes to dark to light. Here's how you win, and I'm talking like you want to get competitive. Here's how we win the game. Joey, wait, you see Joey. The first thing you say, bro, had a snack attack. Gross, by the way, I ate so much. I'm so sorry. I just dove into your snacks. And he's going to go, what? And you go, I'm sorry. I know. I'm totally sorry. Literally, I'll go pay for them and replace them, I promise.
Sure.
Thank you for having them in the house. Thank you to Mom for buying them for you. And again, I'm sorry. They were delicious. I will replace them today. He's going to go, dude, you suck. Cool. Awesome. Move on. Like,
Yeah.
done and done.
Yeah.
But that's you. But you have to win. You have to beat the other person to the punch.
Yeah, that makes sense.
You know? That's why I say to get to I'm sorry and thank you as fast as humanly possible gives you all the power, gives you all the win.
Yeah, and I mean, I didn't. I'll go ahead and just be accountable here for myself. I did bring it up in a very sarcastic way, because it was like right before bed last night, and I just like was walking out past the counter, and my hot Cheetos were open, and I knew that was the last thing that wasn't opened already, and then I was like, you don't even like hot Cheetos, so I came in and I was like, so you just gonna open all of my snacks?
Yeah.
And that was how I approached the conversation. So I could definitely do a better job.
So let's talk
that.
about that. That's a really good point then.
Yeah.
So you had noticed he had opened other snacks earlier,
Yeah.
but didn't say anything?
No, I already talked to him about it.
Oh.
And he did the same sort of thing. I was like, "Did you eat all my Nutter Butters?" And he was like, "Yeah."
Did you eat all my Nutter Butters?
Yeah. And then on the show, I'm like, "Yeah, the Nutter Butters," and he's like, "I don't know what you're talking about.
Forgot the name.
The Nutter Butters? What?"
So and there goes. I mean, we are just diving into this deep stuff here, but that goes into another concept, Bright Guy, that I could help you with, which is, he says, "Did you eat all my Nutter Butters?" And you start with, "No, I didn't."
Right.
You start with assuming you're right.
Right.
And my recommendation is you assume you're wrong.
I know that I do that. So like it's not like some bow like amazing. I know that, and I'm
Well, make it a bow thing. That way you actually get better. Like, make it something that you can change.
I'm trying. I'm trying.
Make it a bow.
I don't know. Like, I'm silly. I don't know. What can I say? So
No,
my
but
point is
that-
like,
You're not
it's a
silly. You're
defense-
defensive, is what you are. Like,
No,
you're
I'm
you're
saying-
literally being defensive right now. You don't see it, but you are. Like, your whole body language changed.
No, it's a. That's what I'm saying. It's a defense mechanism that's built in. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. So unbuilt, like, rip it out.
Just like,
100%. It's a light switch. You know, here's the thing. So yesterday, and you know this is true because we've done it before. We've demonstrated it before. Life is about. This is what today is all about. You are who you are. Your decisions. You make the decision. You're either going to change or you're not going to change. You're going to make a decision to say this is who I am, or not. But the only way to do it is to hold yourself accountable. So every time you say things like I know, or whatever, and you start deflecting the way you've been doing, you don't get the lesson. Therefore, you are going to repeat the behavior because you haven't taken full accountability. And this is what I want people to hear is if you say I am who I am and you are who you are, and that therefore I can love you for who you are, where you are by your decisions. Unless you don't take accountability for who you are, then I'll still love you, but it's harder to understand because you're not willing to take full accountability for you, whoever you are. I'm not saying you. I'm just saying whoever is not willing to take full accountability for themselves, so they pretend to be something that they're not instead of going like, this is who I am exactly, and I take full accountability for me. Mm-hmm. So as you decide to lean into these lessons and actually go into it versus either saying what you think people want you to hear or what people want to hear or being quick to go, yeah, that's just the way that's just the way I am. It can't be changed. Well, it's like, no, that's the way it is because of you, and you can change it like a light switch, 100% like a light switch.
Sure. Yeah.
And
by the way, I wasn't saying you can't change it. That's not what I was like trying to say. What I was saying was because it's so built in, it was a process to change it. But I hear what you're saying. That you can basically fight to turn it off by taking accountability of it. That's
the only way. It's the only way. And the reason why it's a process is because you're going, I'm not going to take accountability yet.
Sure.
I said sorry, but it took me 15 minutes to say sorry. Well, that one doesn't count. You're not someone who says sorry. That's not who you are.
Sure.
You can't say that's who I am. But you can get there, and you can make a decision. Once you make a decision, it's done. The decision's done. Maybe you make a mistake here or there, but you literally change as a person, and you can feel the difference. So here's this light switch idea. Just yesterday, we had sort of a stressy afternoon in my book. My kids missed the beginning of class because they were on a play date with my sister, and my wife and I both forgot about the class, which that became something that was like, it was tough around here, and it was my fault. So that gave me a little bit of stressiness. And then I'm writing the script for Valleywood, which is always a challenge. And then, we had a tech issue here and there, and I can't remember what else there was. Oh yeah, there was some weird guy outside for like a half second. Like there was all these things that were making me feel just kind of like, ugh, right? And my two older kids were on a sleepover. And so so my wife's home with just the baby. And I had mentioned to her, how can I lift you up? Because she had done such a great job for my birthday and whatnot. And she's like, well, maybe we could do a little date, And I was like, yeah, of course. That sounds great, Well, all the stressiness is coming up, and I mentioned some things to her, and she's like, it doesn't sound like it's a good night for this. And I'm like, probably not. You're probably right. And then I hang up the phone, and within 5 seconds, I text her back, and these are my exact words. I go, what are we doing here? ? You're married to Matthew Deering! I can flip this on like a light switch! Order the food. I'm gonna pick it up, and I'm gonna come home, and we're gonna have a great night! That's a choice.
Sure.
The stress didn't actually go away.
Right.
It's just a choice. So then I come home, and I try to love her to the best of my ability, and I'm still being weighed down by things, but that decision was the right decision to make.
Yeah.
Now, going into the same thing, how this could be flipped for negative also is she wanted pizza and gelato spot. So I then went with the easier choice, and I said, yeah, just get me the pizza too. Mm-hmm. The second I'm done eating 3/4 of my pizza, well, they're pretty big there.
Yeah.
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 I felt sick and tired. So now I went home to get myself lifted up, to get myself in a place where I'm supposed to fill my bucket by filling my wife's bucket, and I leave the table feeling tired, exhausted, overcarbed, and I have to then gear myself back up to teach because I felt so lethargic that I needed like caffeine, and I needed a jolt. Okay, then what? Then I go home last night. I can't sleep. Because why? Because I had to jolt myself up.
Yeah.
I'm overcarbed, and I have caffeine in my body late at night. So I did a little bit of sanding, and then I ended up watching a bunch of Vikings. Then you guys have to wake me up this morning. Well, guess what? I am who I am. It's my fault. Those are little decisions I made. Just because my wife wanted pizza doesn't mean I can't order a salad. That's on me. I know what makes my body feel good, what runs my engine to its highest level. So the little decisions, little tiny decisions, every little tiny decision matters. And it's scripted who I am. It scripted my skin tone. It scripted the scars on my face. It scripted everything about me. And as soon as I get that and I realize it, and I'm like, whoa, that's an immense amount of power to have this sort of God-like power inside of me, because God does live inside of me. I have the ability to change my entire future, and I don't take credit for this morning, because we have a great radio show today. TV show, podcast show, whatever you want to call the show, because we have this great show this morning. It's not because of what I did yesterday and last night and this morning. That's not why. Why is because we set up systems, we set up checks and balances, because Shay reminded me that I needed to write this, so I did. Came up with the entire topic, had it pre-written. She did her job, you guys did your job. We had a fail-safe plan. You came and woke me up. And that's why today's good. Why is my energy good? What's the very first thing I said to you, Brian?
Thank you.
Thank you. The number is immediately. And I was already up. My wife shook me up. You called, or I called you right back, whatever it was. And my first thing I said was, thank you. Then, dark to light. Here's the truth. I just rolled out of bed. Mm-hmm. Then I get facts. Where are you at? You're like, we're all set, good to go. I go, great. I think I repeated thank you. Thank you so much. Really appreciate you guys. I'll be in 10 to 15 minutes. Really appreciate you. Sorry, thank you. Boom, done. Come in. What'd you hear from me?
I didn't hear thank you right away. I heard I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Which is just as good.
But I also said thank you to you too.
Yeah, you did.
I said thank you for your work this morning. I'm sorry, and you're like no apology. We're good, whatever. But the truth is, it does help. It does make you feel good to know that I noticed and I appreciated, and I'm humble enough to say I'm weak. You lifted me up. Thank you. Mm-hmm. I apologize for my weakness. Let's do this thing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And then by talking about it, by bringing up the details. And because I know that this is who I am who I am, and I'm going to be a guy that's going to talk about the truth. Joey's trying so hard not to yawn.
I didn't do it.
I know. You're like... Because I'm a guy who's going to talk about the truth, about the details. That includes me. I am going to talk about my own truth. You darn well better bet I'm going to get up tomorrow. Mm-hmm. Because I don't want to hear me holding me accountable again. It sucks.
Yeah.
You know? But that's good. Like, that's me going, I'm taking accountability for me. I am who I am, my decisions. And I'm going to say, who I am today is thank you to 6 months ago. Who I am 6 months from now is not as good as I could have been had I made some better decisions and eaten less pizza.
Yeah.
Facts, Joey Sweeney. Facts.
Facts. All right, Brian, would you like to take accountability?
That was funny, dude. We went on this whole train because of the snacks,
because of snacks.
Here's the thing. I love that example because it's a very, like, honestly, just kind of silly thing. But like I said at the beginning, there's no little or big thing because a habit's a habit. So if it pops up in one place, it'll pop up in another place.
Sure.
In a place where it does matter, whereas realistically the snacks don't really matter, but it's just a good place to look at and go, well, that is definitely a lesson I could take, you know. So that's why I thought it was cool.
Yeah, it's good. And then what's funny is it's all about your reaction to things. So as soon as you react defensively, then all of a sudden we have a wormhole to go down.
Yeah.
But when you are sincere and you're already on it and you're going like, that is crazy, so true, so my bad, whatever, then there becomes little to talk about.
Right.
So that's the other thing. It's like when you don't want something to be a thing that is brought up and talked about and relived and rehashed, you bring it up. You be the one to own it before the other person can, and then there's nothing to talk about anymore.
Yeah, that's true.
You guys can't rip me for waking up late today. I've already ripped myself 7 times and did it publicly. Like, what are you going to do?
Right.
You'd be like, you woke up late. I know. We already talked about it.
Yeah.
Like 100%. I totally agree. Then what? Like, you can't keep coming at me.
Yeah,
But if I try to get defensive and try to go, oh yeah, but it's not that big of a deal, or yeah, oh yeah, but you know, then it's still there, and you have ammunition to keep hitting me with. What's up?
I was saying it's like the bully thing, right? So like, if they only have power if you give them power.
Yeah.
Right. It's the same idea.
And that's that bully inside of you. It's that thing inside of you that tries to win, tries to be defensive, tries to make excuses, and tries to say, I am who I am because of somebody else. I am who I am because of my outside circumstances. I am who I am because of the neighborhood I grew up in. Well, those are all lies.
Mm-hmm.
You are who you are because of your decisions.
Mm-hmm.
You grew up in Wickenburg. Congratulations. Now what? Now what are you going to do with your life? You're saying nobody came out of Wickenburg, in the town of Wickenburg, and became stinking wealthy and like crazy successful? Of course they did.
Yeah.
Many people. So you're like, okay, there are different paths that we take, and I made decisions throughout high school, throughout grade school, throughout this and this and this, that maybe I was dumb, maybe I was a kid, maybe I didn't know what I didn't know, fine, but they're my decisions. They are my decisions, and I made them to set me up to be where I am now. And depending on what I did, and I'm talking to me right now, depending on what I did in high school, what I did in college, what I did in here and there, that determines the amount of catch-up I have to do. If I really realistically believe where I'm going, which I do, that's why I get up at 3.
Mm-hmm.
Because Gary Vee's got 20 years on me.
Yeah.
So if I can catch up to him a couple hours a day, it's still going to take me a lifetime to catch up to where that dude is. Because he started in grade school. He had the kind of mentality I have now in grade school, and now he's like 40-something.
Yeah.
So he's so far ahead of where I am that it's like, okay, cool. He is who he is because of the decisions he made. Now what can I do? How can I learn from him? And then what can I do in my life to better me and to congratulate a dude like that or whoever it is, you know? Because I love successful people. I don't get jealous at all. I get inspired and I get excited for them, and I'm like, good for you. Good for you. You did all the work. Good for you. That's awesome. Okay, here we go. These headphones are, there we go. All right, so here's what I recommend. This is a little takeaway from today. Make a list of your habits, the actions that you take on a daily basis. Make a list of all your habits. Good habits, bad habits, the ones you like, the ones you don't like. Put them on 2 different columns, the good and the bad. And just detail out what are you doing on a daily basis. Be very honest with yourself. Very honest with where you are right now on average. Because the thing is, a lot of times we lie to ourselves too, and we're like, "Oh, I don't watch that much TV," or "I don't do this much of whatever." But those are ways of us sort of downplaying the waste of time in our life.
Yep.
So I would go the opposite. I would assume more than what you remember, because it's probably more. It's probably worse than you think.
Yeah.
So add a few hours and detail out, these are the habits that I do on average every week. Because you can't go every day, because sometimes you have a great day and then you'll do your averages based on your great day.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like Brian would do it today and he'd be like, well, I get up at 5:30. No, you don't. You got up at 5:30. Today, you don't get up at 5:30.
Today.
On average, I don't wake up on time 6 out of 7 days. That's what you write down. These are your habits. So then that one trumps everything else. You go, okay, so then it's like, here's a habit here, here's a habit here, and you write them down. You're very honest, and then you look at you look at it like a math equation, and you're like, if I add up all these habits and I multiply them times 10 years, where am I going to be 10 years from now? And be honest with yourself. Where do I suspect I'll be? And then you'll know for real, are you on the path that you think you're on or not? And it's cool if you're on a path you want to be on and you're honest with that path.
Yeah.
Because not everybody wants to be in the 1%. Not everybody wants to put in that kind of grind or that kind of effort to be that type of human being. It's fine. If you don't, if you want to live a different style life, cool, embrace that. Be honest about that and go, this is the path that I'm on right now. I like this position I'm in. I'm growing at a pace that's sustainable for my life, for who I am, for my energy, whatever. Cool. But just be honest about that. Don't pretend like you're going to be somewhere 10 years from now, but you're not putting in the daily work every day. And if you add it up, you're going to go, there's no way I get to there because I'm not doing the thing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a solid point because thinking about the idea of the interest, like even just as a bank or anything, it's like whatever you do builds up upon each other. So you can't act like that's not the case. That's like a law of human nature. Like it's in so many different places where you see compound interest. Something builds upon this, builds upon that, builds upon this. So whatever you do, you just have to expect that it's going to be that way or else you're ignorant.
Yeah.
Because it's like, okay, well, if I really think it's not going to be that way, why would you ever think that?
That's right. That's right. And
Yeah.
and so money's a great way to look at this, Joey, because you're exactly right. You put money into a bank
Mm-hmm.
and you go, okay, I can do the math and I can actually add this up over 10 years. And the math goes like this. I put in X amount of dollars and over the last, say, 50 years, this type of account has averaged anywhere from 3 to 7%. So I'll go 5.
Mm-hmm.
So it's averaged 5%. If I put in X amount, I'll make up $1. If I put in X amount, like $100 a day or $100 a month, I put into this account, by the end of 10 years, this is where I'll be.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But it doesn't work if you miss a month. It doesn't work if you miss a day. The math changes. So that's what happens is we do this thing where we map out our lives and the lives go like this. It's a great example. 10 years from now, it's supposed to be 100,000, but we took money out.
Yep.
And then we look at it and we go, why are we not at the 100,000 in 10 years? Well, it's like, because you took money out.
Yeah.
You didn't stick to the plan. You didn't do the thing. You didn't do the hard thing. You didn't let the interest accrue. You didn't stay consistent with your payments. Of course you don't have the money. Why are you saying you're confused by this?
Yeah.
You're not where you are or where you want it to be because of you.
Mm-hmm.
This is what I'm talking about with my 3 a.m. example. Same idea, what you're saying. If I was putting money in since I was 15 until I'm 50, I don't have to put in as much money.
Yeah.
Because there's more interest to accrue over more time. It doesn't cost me as much. But if I wait till I'm 35, I wait till I'm 40, now I've only got 10 years. If I want to be the same place somebody else is at, who's been investing, who's been smart, who's had the right mindset since they were 15, I have to catch up, or I'm never going to catch up. I have to put in the extra work, put in the extra money. Instead of costing me $100 a month, it's going to cost me $1,000 a month to
Yeah.
get to the exact same place that you're at. Is that fair? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, it's fair.
Mm-hmm.
Because you didn't put in the time. You didn't start early enough. Like you didn't make the decision. It's on you.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I didn't know about compound interest. Well, guess what? You could have learned.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
chose not to.
Mm-hmm.
You chose to make money not important. That's you. It's on you. It's your fault.
Mm-hmm.
You get that and you go, okay, I am who I am right now because of me. It's a big eye opener. And it's something
Yeah.
that's a sock in the belly. And you go, if you're not where you want to be and you have to take accountability for it, you could get sad for a second and be like, oh, really? Like it's all everything's my fault? Yeah, everything.
Yeah,
Everything is your fault. Okay. That sucks. Or it's the most empowering, life-giving thing in the world because it doesn't matter where you are, how old you are, how much money you have, how good-looking you are, how fit you are. none of what your relationships are like. Nothing matters. Because if you believe this to be true, then that means you have a pen and you get to write your future, and it starts today with every decision you make. And like Joey steals Brian's pen. And so Joey, for instance, you mentioned a couple times yesterday, you were like, I'm on fire today.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and you were. You were doing different things that were really high level, just activities for your work, and you knew it. You could feel you were growing. You could feel you were pushing your own boundaries. You could feel you were maximizing your day.
Yeah.
What's interesting is that's awesome, but that's you maximizing your account one day.
Mm-hmm.
So then you hold yourself accountable, and you're like, okay, if I put in minimal effort on 4 days, maximum effort on 3 days, and it averages out to be this amount of effort over 7 days, you know, and like these amount of days I'm tired, and then whatever, and you do that math, and it changes, and you're going, okay, how do I get more maximum days?
Yeah.
And then that's where you hold yourself accountable, but you also beg and plead for your counterparts to get better, and that's why you have to be careful who you hang around. Because your energy last night, you're on fire, then your energy shifted when things went wrong and you had to step in, and it sort of adjusted your night. And people not holding themselves accountable and not saying things right away, not saying sorry, blah, 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 blah. It puts you in this negative state. You have to actually expend some of that high-level effort on just your own mental stability.
A lot of it. Yeah. Yeah, a lot.
So then you run out of energy, and you don't maximize your day as much as you were maximizing your day, which makes you feel sad.
Mm-hmm.
And therefore, it takes you effort to get back into that state. And if you're not careful, you tell yourself, well, it doesn't matter. I was at this high state. I get kicked out of it. There's no point in me being in that high state. It doesn't really help anything, blah, blah, blah. And then you go down a path, and then it takes you a while to get back to the high state.
Yeah, 100%. That's a solid example, because you're couldn't be more right. It's crazy, and I don't think I myself realize this as much, but I definitely don't think that most people realize the fact that when you allow yourself to be brought down by negativity, to have a situation affect you negatively when you're in that high place, there is not an amount to how much energy you expend trying to get back to where you were when somebody's not willing to work with you.
Yeah.
You know, and so that's one of those things. You're absolutely right, where it was just like this suck in the face, and then you're up there fighting a battle while you're trying to fix problems.
And this is why I say you have to protect your own mind. You have to be the gatekeeper to your own mind. This is another good example of yesterday. So I crushed yesterday morning, felt awesome. Went home, had a pretty good afternoon at home, or like morning, afternoon with my kids. I was really productive at the house. I came back in refreshed, ready to go, ready to write the script. Like super pumped. I walk in, excited, energized. The very first thing I hear, and it was a joke, but it was, "Are you ready to be bombarded?" And then you and Shay dumped on me. You had about 3 things, she had about 7 things, and you just started listing off all the stresses that are like, hey, you have to do this, you have to do this, you have to tell me a decision here, blah, 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 blah. Anything that could have been decided without me, it would have been better to be decided.
Yeah.
Maybe have a list, maybe a this or that. Like, find some way where you change the language so that, because I now have to fight that thought, like, okay, I guess I'm going to be bombarded. I guess I'm going to be, and there was a lot of information coming at me. Now that's the job of the CEO, but truthfully, I'm also supposed to play the part of employee yesterday, where I have to be the one writing the script. I get to be the one writing the script. So I have a duty that should be singular focused and not worried about other things.
Yeah.
So realistically, I came in refreshed. By the time the first 20 minutes were up, before I was about to write, my brain was already in big time fight or flight mode. I had to reset again before I could attack the script again.
Yeah.
Before I could actually sit down and start and be creative, I had to like break open my mind. Then anytime somebody comes and interrupts my process, both of you, whoever, comes in and needs my attention for some reason, it takes me out of state.
Mm-hmm.
And it could be something silly, like it's funny, I mean, Dakota walks up and literally I'm in the zone. I've got my focus music on. I'm trying to just not look or think about anything. And he walks up and he just stands there. And I look at him and he was just showing me that he was bringing my notebook out. And I just look at him and then he just puts it down and walks away. But it's like, you could have just put it down and walked away. Mm-hmm. So I don't know why he did that. And that's a question for him. Like, did he need credit? Did he want to, like, was he maybe he wanted to ask me where I wanted to put it or whatever? That's a decision he can make.
Yeah.
He actually doesn't need me for that. And if and as we teach Dakota to read the room, he'll understand, hey, this is Matt's notebook. I just got to put it someplace he's going to be able to find it. Like, no problem.
Yeah.
I definitely shouldn't interrupt somebody who's in state, who's at a high level working, to just show them, like, hey, I'm putting your notebook down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But we do this kind of thing to each other all the time.
Mm-hmm.
Totally.
So, again, holding ourselves accountable, then holding ourselves accountable for the impact that we have on other people.
Mm-hmm.
And when everyone's doing it as a team, and this is where we are now getting to a place where our team is operating sometimes at the absolute highest vibration possible. It's because we have four like-minded people who all are beginning to understand these concepts, who are lifting ourselves up, fighting some of our own battles, helping each other fight battles, and not dragging each other down constantly.
Yeah.
It puts us in a space where, oh my gosh, all of a sudden we can all accomplish more, both individually and collectively, more than we ever imagined possible. And we're like, how do we do that? Well, it's because we've earned it. We've worked for it. We've really put the time in. And that makes a huge difference.
Yep.
Absolutely.
Okay, so we're going to write down our habits, the ones you like, the ones you don't like. You're going to write down what that's going to look like 10 years from now. And then if you don't like what the picture looks like 10 years from now, or it doesn't match up with who you believe you are, then you got to go back and you got to change some of those habits. I can tell you right now, my 10 years from now, I am 10% body fat. That guy don't eat pizza.
He said it.
That guy don't eat pizza. I mean it. By the end of this year, I'm going to be in totally different shape, but I got to stop making excuses and going, I'm going to wait till whenever. Like, it's got to be a decision that I make, like anything else. And it's like, this changes who I am. I am who I am is my decisions, and I just go, you know what? I know what makes me feel good. Start loving me more. I want to love me more, and I want to do what's good for me, what I know is good for me. I want to love me to the highest ability, so I'm going to put into my body, I'm going to put into my mind, and I'm going to put into my spirit the things that I know are going to love me the most, that are going to lift me up. And that includes people, and that includes you too. And once again, I'll say I'm sorry for this morning, and I'm very, very grateful for both of you for being here, for getting set up, for making today a really successful show. So thank you.
You're welcome.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, this has been Mornings with Matt. Thank you so much for tuning in. Please do not forget to like, subscribe, and share this channel. Help us put out this light-driven content. Sure means the world to us when you do that. And I got to tell you, you have been doing it because our subscribers keep going up by the dozens, and we'd like to see that happening by the hundreds. But either way, we are just so grateful for you for doing what you're doing. You hitting that like and subscribe button really is a game changer for us, because YouTube sees us differently and they share us differently. And so you are literally helping us help the world with this material that we're trying to get out. Thanks so much, and God bless.
Thanks for listening to Mornings with Matt. Please like, subscribe, and follow us at Deering Acting Studio to keep up with the latest content. For more information on classes, private lessons, or professional development coaching, visit www.deeringstudio.com. Have a Deering day, everyone.